Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've already watched some of my previous videos I've been making on this channel, specifically on factoring with GCF and what I like to call FOIL backwards, where you use parentheses. Okay, now we're going to put into action. This usually is something that you'll do usually second semester of IM3. And this is something all of you can do if you just give it a shot. So here we go. So here you have problem number 12, as you can see from a random worksheet. But the key thing to remember is rule 1, factor everything. I repeat, rule 1, factor everything. So if you look at this numerator right here, notice I can do a GCF. And again, if you don't know GCF and FOIL backwards, guys, please watch my prior videos. But anyways, I notice they both have a 9m in them, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 9m as my GCF. Again, does everybody agree they both divide by 9? M squared and m both have an m factor in them. So I'm going to do a GCF of 9m. So if I do a m here, does everybody agree 9m times m is 9m squared? Notice the minus there, so I better have a minus. Always be careful with your plus or minuses. And of course, I'm going to need a 10 here, because 9m times 10 is 90m. And so I just factored that using GCF. Now, what about the numerator here, or sorry, the denominator right there? Hopefully you recognize that as FOIL backwards, or as I like to say, we're going to use parentheses. So here we go. I know m times m is that m squared right there. I know 7 times 3 is that 21. Now I need a 4. So I'm going to do positive 7 minus 3, because 7 minus 3 is 4. And also notice the positive here times the negative there will give me my negative 21. Constant there. Okay, so hopefully you're following along with that so far. Okay, so let's see what next. Notice we have a divide right here, so we're going to change that to a times, because if you remember back in middle school, to divide any fraction, don't you do multiply by the reciprocal, right? We're going to change divide to multiply and do the reciprocal over here. So the m minus 3, in other words, now is in the denominator. And my numerator is going to be this denominator here, right? In other words, I'm going to flip that up. M minus 3 goes down. So let's factor, again, that expression there. So we're going to go m times m to get m squared. We're going to do 7 times 3 to get 21. To get plus 4, we're going to do 7 minus 3. Now what can we do? Remember with times, guys, everything just times is straight across here, right? So anything in the numerator divides by 1 or into 1 if I divide by the same thing in the denominator. So notice, isn't, for example, m plus 7 divided by m plus 7, 1. Isn't m minus 3 divided by m minus 3, 1. So notice my final answer is just simply 9m times m minus 10 over m minus 3. And that is what we call the simplified form. The only thing else we could do is distribute that 9m, okay? But we'll just leave it in factored form. Pause the video if you need to. Okay, take a look at problem 14 here. First question for you is, what again should you do first? What do you always do first with these? That's right, you factor, right? So go ahead and pause the video and factor it. Okay, so let's see what you got. Hopefully you recognize that as simply 9a times a minus 4. Again, I did a GCF there. Hopefully you recognize the denominator as another 9a, this time times a minus 9. The divide right there changes to a multiply because we are going to do the reciprocal here. So the denominator here now is going to be a 6a times a minus 10 on top as the numerator now. And this top numerator is now going to flip down and become the denominator. Oh, that's parentheses again, right? That's FOIL backwards. So we're going to do a times a for a squared. 10 times 4 is 40. How do I get a minus 14? Negative 10, negative 4. Okay, so remember, with the times, everything's going to time straight across here, right? So how about the 9a divided by the 9a is 1. How about the a minus 10 divided by the a minus 10? 1. How about the a minus 4 divided by a minus 4 is 1. Notice the only thing left is 6a divided by, and the only thing in the denominator is a minus 9. And we are done. So pause the video again if you need to. Okay, let's take a look at this one last problem. It's actually simpler than the other two, I hope you agree. But the rule again is, what's the first thing we always do, guys? That's right, we factor everything. So pause the video and factor this real quick. Okay, so hopefully you recognize that 5r minus 5 is really 5 times r minus 1. The denominator is already simplified, right? You can't factor that, r minus 1. We have a divide, which we are going to make into a times. We're going to do a reciprocal, or flip that over, right? So r minus 3 is now in the denominator, and 6r squared is in the numerator. And everything's going to be times straight across here, right? So r minus 1 divides by r minus 1 is 1. And that's it. So I'm just going to take 5 times 6r squared, that's 30r squared, and divide that by r minus 3. And that, again, is the answer. Pause the video one last time. Okay, guys, so hopefully you got a handle on it. Now, all of these are divide. Some of the problems you're going to deal with, and I'll probably add a few in the next video, is when you multiply, well, you don't have to worry about the reciprocal like we did here, right? Alright, I actually did some of the harder problems in some ways. But anyways, without me talking too much, that's the end of this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.